Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you guys here on this Tuesday, June 20th, 2023. Thank you for tuning in. Now, listen, uh, there's some bizarre stuff going on as of recently. And when I say bizarre, I say hard to believe stuff that's been going on. But there's been quite a little bit of stuff pointing toward that maybe there's some things we don't understand in our national park system, especially if you venture deep into the uh, uncharted territory parts of our national parks. Like off the beaten trail. People have seen things that defy logic, and there's missing people. This has been going on. Now, I'm not for sure what's exactly what it is, but evidence points toward maybe some sort of some scary stuff's been happening. Let's just say that, people will be like out and they'll maybe late at night or something, they'll hear things in the woods that don't really sound like animals. Sounds like somebody maybe sounds like voices off in the distance and stuff like that. Just weird stuff going on. People seeing creatures in the dimly lit parts of like in the dusk, the evening, and very late at night or stuff. People have been seeing stuff that's been unnerving them. And there's been people going missing in the national park systems as of recently. But, we're under a big thing with UFOs going on right now. And you guys have heard about what happened in Las Vegas with the UFO. Well, pictures have come in now. And I've been analyzing them of the creature. I'm going to put a link in the description. But, I'm familiar with things like cosplay. Cosplay, if you guys aren't familiar with cosplay is people dress up in costumes to look like different creatures and stuff. And I've been analyzing the footage of this thing, and if this is cosplay, if this is somebody dressed up in a costume to try to imitate an alien or whatever, damn, they did a good job of it. Because, of course, the in a costume, the upper part of the costume would have to be made out of all silicone and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And this thing in the picture, there's a fence there. Well, you guys will see if you click on the link. There's a fence there, and the fence is around 5 or 6 feet high. And this creature's bent down, hiding behind the fence, and he's almost nearly as tall as the fence is, all bent down. So that means if he stood up, because we have something for reference to understand his height. If he stood up, he'd be at least 8 feet tall, maybe even 10 feet tall. And looking at the footage, if it is cosplay, somebody dressed up in a costume, damn, and I've ruled out Photoshop. It's not Photoshopped. I can tell by looking at it, it's not Photoshopped. The only other explanation would be somebody in a costume. Damn if they did. If it's one hell of a good costume, I'll tell you that. And then what's happened just in the last little bit, just in the last day or so, is there's a big UFO flap over France. And I'm going to put the link in the description to this, and it's quite incredible, the video footage from France of a big long cigar-shaped UFO, and it's shining a beam down on the ground somehow, and then there's other orbs flying around it and stuff. Perhaps some of the best footage I've ever seen coming in from France, and I'll put a link in the description to that as well. So we got high strangeness going on right now. And there's high strangeness in the financial system as well. Take a look at this. Ron Paul says we need a peace president. It says most people agree that we are closer to nuclear war than at any time since the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. Some would even argue that we are closer now than we were in those fateful days when the Soviet missiles in Cuba almost triggered a nuclear war between the United States and USSR. Maybe that's why the aliens are here. To save us from ourselves. To save us from our politicians. I shouldn't say save us from ourselves, because the people out here, the people in the world, all 8 billion of us, except for that tiny little minority that would make up like 1/100th of 1%, not even that. All the people, they don't want war. They don't want nuclear weapons. They don't want to be destroyed in a nuclear holocaust. They just want to have a safe, secure life. You know? And so, well, that's why I say maybe the aliens are here to save us from ourselves. Save us from our politicians. Because they're the ones who have taken us to the brink of war. It's as bad as this. They use our tax-paying dollars to build these weapons systems that can blow up the world. And it's the same in every country. And then they decide when they want to use those weapon systems to blow up the world. So they're using your own tax-paying dollars to blow up the world, to blow up you, to blow up your kids, to blow up your family, blow up everybody, and into a nuclear irradiated what's it. And they're using your money to do it. How's that sound? Not very good to me. But Ron Paul here, he says we need a peace president. And what he's saying here is that if we don't get some peace pretty soon, we might go into nuclear war. It might be too late at a certain point. It's basically what he's saying. Moving on today, the markets might be finally making their fateful crash. It might be beginning. It could be. This could be the start of it. We're getting awfully close to something. And I'm in anticipation of it. Of some sort of a crash because of what the Fed did with this tightening cycle. And this could be it, guys. This could be it. I'm not saying this is it, but I'm just saying I'm watching this to see how big this might get. But all the signals are in there. Bond yields falling. Another signal is all the commodities dropping. Oil's dropping like a stone today. So's silver, so's gold, and the market's dropping. So we're seeing silver drop 85 cents. That's a big one-day drop to 23.07. I figure right now mining production cost is somewhere around $20 an ounce. That's their cost to get it into a coin form and get it ready to sell for you, like at the coin store. The cost is about $20 right now. And so they're still about $3 over cost. But when they get down to cost, they're not going to produce any silver. They're just going to shut the mines down because it's a losing proposition for them at that point if they get below cost of production. Then they're just going to say, hey, we just can't. We got costs associated with mining silver. It costs us a certain amount of money to get it out of the ground and get it to the dealer and get it everywhere where you're going to buy it. And they're getting down near that cost right here. And they can't go below that cost. So you're not going to see this drop down to $18 or anything like that. Otherwise, they'll be out of silver. Because most of the new silver they're mining comes from mining production. They can't drop it below mining production costs, and they know this. So we're down near mining production costs right now. Mining production costs has increased drastically over the last couple years, since 2020. And I mean, it was over $10 back then, mining production costs, back before 2020. And now prices have doubled on almost everything since 2020 till now. Everything they use in a mine. If you guys ever went into a hardware store, yeah, these mines and stuff, they have to send their man out, and he basically goes in and buys parts and stuff they need, and some of the things come from places like hardware stores. And they have to pay too. They have to pay these marked up costs on everything. It's just a fortune for every little piece of equipment and all the fuel that they need. It's been going up, up, up. But yet prices of the product they're selling, which is silver and gold, have not been going up. In fact, going way back like 20 years ago, the price was higher than it is now. Well, it was 48 bucks an ounce. Years ago, back when you could buy something, back when you would go into a hardware store and it wasn't sticker shock. You could buy a lot of stuff for 20 bucks. Now, you can buy less than a quarter of what you could. Anyway, we're looking at gold taking a tumble too at 20 bucks down at 1930. Taking a look at cryptocurrency today. Cryptocurrency's holding its own pretty good. Bitcoin's at 26,707, 714. Ethereum's at 1717. Taking a look at the Dow Jones today, we're off 376 points so far. Well, 360 right now, 33,938. Taking a look at crude oil, it's off $1.77. That's a big drop for crude oil, down to $70.01. Bonds and rates today. Now look at the yields on the long end of the curve. Now the short end's not moving much, but look at that long end. Look at the big movement. In the 10-year, it's down 5.2 basis points at 3.71, and the 30-year is at 3.8 basis point, 3.8, and it's down 4.2 basis points. I almost tend to think this might be yield curve manipulation. On the long end of the yield curve. Could they be buying their own junk? Yeah, sure, they could be. To lower yields on the long end. Why? Because they see what the markets are doing today. Taking a look now at the dollar index today, and it's at 102.69, and it's rising a little bit today. Thank you guys for listening to my show. Check out the video of the alien. Oh, that sounds so weird. And the video of the UFO in France. Some strange stuff going on in the world, and that's not the only things. This financial system's beyond bizarre. It's more strange than UFOs. What's going on? How we could get into this global Ponzi scheme that we're in, that there's no solution to it. How did we get in this mess? Again, our politicians. The same ones who bought all these nuclear weapons and are ready to use them with our own tax-paying dollars. They're the ones who got us into this mess with the financial system. They're the ones who said that gold was a barbarous relic from the past. Well, they're going to find out. You guys, thank you for listening to my show. Like and subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next one. You guys have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.